Can you hear me? Testing. Can we get the mic going? Am I not loud enough though? Come on. I'm pretty loud. There we go. Alright, welcome teachers, families, and friends of 2017 Slam Poets. My name is Alyssa and I will be your host this evening. I'm a former student of Mr. Leonardi's and a Slam Poetry alumni. So I'm going to start off by explaining just exactly what slam poetry is and what it means to these students, because I know you all came here with some funky ideas of what you were getting yourselves into. When Mr. Leonardi introduced us to slam poetry, he didn't just show us a new assignment or a hobby or a skill we could develop. He showed us a space, a safe space, just a pen and a paper. It was a safe space to experiment and explore and play with our emotions and feelings and these very real realities within ourselves. And I'm here to let you know that it can get a little intense and at times even scary. You will hear some poems tonight that touch on some sensitive topics, and I encourage you to remain open and supportive for our youth. Nonetheless, it is these very words that will reach and connect with the world we live in, and in doing so, grow it. And that, my friends, is what our poets have come to do tonight. So let us hold that same safe space for them, okay? If you like what you hear, when you can relate with something that is said, go ahead and cheer the poets on with some snaps. And please hold your applause until the end of each performance. Opening our show, we are honored to have the lovely and talented Anatallia Villaranda, who just finished this season of The Voice as a member of Team Alicia, singing Stand By Me. Please give a round of applause for Anatallia.
How's everybody doing today? Well, as you guys know, I'm Anatallia, and I'm going to be singing Stand By Me by Benny King, which is actually the last song that I sang on The Voice show, so I really hope you guys like it, and enjoy today. When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see, don't be afraid, no, I won't be afraid, just as long as you stand by me. So darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me. Stand by me. If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, or the mountain should crumble to the sea, I would cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand
first year at SHAP after 5 school transfers and is ready to share her story. Here is Chloe McAllister with The New Kid.
I'm new. I'm a transfer student. Every time we move, it cuts a little deeper. My rope, the last strand. All you are is a dumb blonde, they say. I'll never fit in. I'm sorry. Making new friends is hard, they say. It takes time, they say. It'll get better once you have friends, they say, but they will never understand. What if they blame me? Hi, I'm Chloe. No, I do not want to tell the class anything about myself. Well, we're military. My dad is, so I guess that makes me too. The truth is, I'm afraid to admit what I am, because what I am is lonely. I'm always that new kid. You don't try hard enough, they'll say. Put yourself out there, they say. You're outgoing, they say, but they'll never understand. Oh yeah, my name is, Chloe. You want to be friends? You mean strangers. Because I'm that Monopoly piece you traded in once you upgraded. 2 peas in a pod, but like most, you'll find better friends. Friends that won't leave you. We'll be friends after you move. I promise, they say. I've met one liar after the other. How is it that I'm always the one leaving and I'm always the one that's left behind? Hi, I'm new, I'm Chloe. Do I have depression? Does that make me damaged? Is it my fault? Did I not try hard enough? Am I the reason I'm ruined? This pain won't go away. Why won't it just go away already? Maybe if we didn't move so much. Maybe if I could just stay in one place. But then, I never would have met all these amazing people, all the places I've lived. I never would have talked to that sweet dopey kid. Kenny and I never would have become friends. Maybe if I stayed, he never would have tried to take his own life. Hell, maybe he would have succeeded the very first time he tried. But guess what? I would never know. It's hard to keep track of each goodbye. I wish tears made it all better, but they don't. Yeah, I'm fine, just hard. Maybe, just maybe, I wouldn't have to hide behind my sheepish smile. You don't know me. I'm just a stranger passing through. A new kid. This is a damn curse, but it's my story. Hi, my name is Chloe.
So in desire to express his frustration for the intolerance he sees in regards to racial prejudice and injustice that is prevalent in our country, this is Katie Chapman with Gray Areas.
Gray is infinite insignificance. Black and white are for impotence. Existence, for instance, amount of pigment distinguishes whether or not my privileges are meaningless. Who's the genius that decided the human race inconvenient? I highly doubt it was Jesus, who made us all in his image. Imagine our similarities. All of us aren't so different. So, because my lips are big, and I find chicken delicious, you put me in in county prisons for countless crimes uncommitted. If we did, then it's part of the system they implemented. The low are kept low so the high can stay high. And you wonder why we're smoking all the time? Because for a dime and $1.99, we can experience sublime without the burden of searching for the surface on our mind. Paranoia finding injustice makes me disgusted. Those who serve and protect are sure to come for our necks and suggest that we're all incumbent. Degraded by the gavel, while hammered down with their malice, blood drips from my chalice, my cup runneth over. We have been embracing our challenge to put an end to the mad practice of malpractice and bad habits till we get it all except the kitchen sink. We are running and still stagnant. To make it out of what's happening requires a certain passion of bouncing a basketball or rapping. Take it in stride, make you eat these lines like chewing gum. If I burst your bubble, watch your tongue. Come see me become rather than succumb under the thumb of the hand I was dealt. Watch me shuffle my cards, a black spade laying down a king of hearts. Shedding a little light from the dark. Mommy is black, daddy is white, and they made their mark. All this melanin in my skin is a start of something to be a part rather than be apart. Gray is everything. We need implementation. Between the love and the hate, white and black, hope and deprivation, integration and not segregation. Free the nation.
With realizing they are non-binary and their journey of accepting themselves. Here is Andy Juarez with Lost, Then Found.
I did not grow up knowing what this means. My body and my mind together intertwined in a way that lacks symmetry. See, we're told we can either be one gender or the other. You are either sister or your brother. You are father or your mother. We were not told we might be something else entirely. We were not told we could exist outside the gender binary. Before my teen years, I did not have the vocabulary to solve this confusion, so I put on this dress as a temporary solution. Growing up, I always wanted to be an actress. Emphasis on the S. Playing a girl was my very first role, being called her and miss, going through life pretending I was cis. Cis meaning I agreed to what some doctor proclaimed 17 years ago, meaning I abided to the feminine quality that was built into my name, meaning when I began to question this gender assignment, my natural reaction was shame. And the alternative to self-exploration was sinking further and further into self-depreciation, a place I did not want to allow myself to go, or rather, to stay. But I could not begin my journey to my truthful destination until I could say the word that would set me free, the word that would give me my identity, the one that had been hiding behind denial and doubt. Once I claimed it, I would not be able to go back, because once you're out, that door is closed. I was not sure if I was ready to shout this aspect of myself into an unknowing ocean of people who most likely could not relate to me, or whose ignorance threatened to drown me. But as the days went on, and I looked in the mirror for reflection, I noticed I was less of a human and more like a question, unanswered and afraid, all the while avoiding reality, my existence spiraling into one of uncertainty. I was not taught how to make sense of inner chaos. But as a little girl, I was taught how to spell, and maybe that could help me out of this hell. So I reached for alphabet blocks, building up a word that would make sense of it all. T, for taking my life into my own hands. R, for realizing there are more than two genders, and I can determine my own more than anyone else can. A, for announcing my truth, regardless of what others would think. N, for not listening to those who cannot unlearn the idea that the human experience can be condensed into strict categories of blue and pink. S, for surrounding myself with people that could empathize and letting go of those who do not think I deserve a space to stand. Trans. Transgender. The word echoed from my mouth, not unlike the sound of a worn-out dress hitting the ground. It seems turning to dust, just like the concept that I have to be bound to a gender that always made me feel more lost than found.
So this next poem is about the truth behind what you see on social media. Here are Leah and Mackenzie with Society versus Me.
Hi, my name is What You See, also known as _2547. Hi, my name is What You Don't See, also known as, well, you never seem to remember. I'm loving life, and I appreciate every day. Just look at this beautiful beach that I'm at. I have been questioning if my life is even worth living, and if this feeling of drowning will ever stop. Look at my friends and I, out for a social night on town. Sometimes I wonder if the people I call my friends will ever see the sadness that is within me. Wow, 100 likes already! I wonder what it feels like to be actually liked. You see, we may actually sound like two different people, but we are one mind. Depression is not always obvious. We hide ourselves behind social facades. We lock ourselves away from reality. We try to save ourselves from the real world that is tearing us apart. What I tweet, Instagram, or Snapchat is only what you see. You only see the moments of my life that I provide for you. What I don't post are the moments of unbearable pain. I'm going to keep posting these moments of my life to feel normal, to feel sane, to feel happy. Maybe, if I post one more, they'll think that I'm okay. How can our inner and outer personas be so different? The warning signs of depression are not always obvious. What's perceived isn't always true. Paying attention, and maybe you will finally see how that chick _2547 looks just like you and me. How that chick _2547 is you and me.
Inspired by her frustration with never feeling good enough, here is Brianna Orr with
Look at me. Look into the dullness of my eyes when I say, I'm not hungry. Can you hear the rumbling of my stomach as the words, I don't need food, I'm fine, fall from my lips and they quiver because I can't stand lying to you, but I also can't stand when you notice my arms jiggle now. I'm looking at the smile on your face when you say you can dress me like a model now because gone are the days in which I resemble an elephant. I'm smiling because I finally gained your approval. Look at me.
I'm smiling, but it hurts. I finally gained your approval, yet I don't feel satisfied. Approval. That's all I ever sought, yet I feel so empty because I know it's not what I need. What I need is acceptance. I want to hear you tell me I'm beautiful no matter what size I am. I want to be able to eat without feeling guilty. I want you to throw it all up. I want to feel like I'm allowed to exist the way I am, but you make me feel like that's wrong. And it makes me want to cut my skin open and rip myself out of my flesh so that I may float up to the sky in my new celestial body. Maybe then you'd miss me. Maybe then you'd finally think I'm beautiful. Now, look at me. Look at my eyes, look at my faltering smile as I, now 18, realize that no 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old should ever be told the things that I was. How is it that our society is so messed up that it has become normal for a 14-year-old girl to be 93 pounds and purposely skipping meals just so her own mom could finally think she's pretty? Look at me now. This is what I've been reduced to. This is all that I am. For too long, I've been romanticized, criticized, hypersexualized, and now you're telling me that I'm oversized. I don't know who I am because I've hurt myself going through cycles of never eating to binge eating to not eating again, just so you could see me and think I'm lovely. Am I still lovely? When you see me, do I no longer disgust you? When you look at me, do you still see a pig? Let me look at myself for a change. Let me open my eyes to the beauty that I am. I can see it beneath all the layers of your judgments. Can you see it too? Can you dig up all the words of the past and see me, just me, underneath? I can. Look at me now. Look into the brightness of my eyes when I say, I am beautiful. Can you hear the laughter in my voice as the words, I don't need your approval. I'm more than fine, fall from my lips, and it no longer hurts to smile. You know what? Don't look at me anymore.
This next poet describes his mother's journey through a 10-year-old's eyes. This is Andre Lede with She Is.
Why doesn't she see herself as pretty as I do? Better yet, as much as my brother, sister, and dad do too. Always helping me with my homework after school, then giving me a snack. I see her slaving away in the kitchen trying to pick up the slack. She kisses me on the cheek and tells me to go outside and play with my friends. She puts a band-aid on my knee whenever I fall. She acknowledges me when I'm crying and teaches me how to stop. She puts a halt to arguments with my brother and my sisters and somehow gets us raging children to remember that we love each other. She tells me to choose my friends wisely and think before you speak. She tells me that hate is a strong word that should never be used and reminds me how lucky I am to have a father that doesn't abuse. She smiles at me even after I lose the big game. She lifts my head up as it hangs from the shame. She teaches me how to respect women and how to treat them with kindness. She mends my broken heart. And she'll scold me if I dare break others. She makes me so happy. The happiest I think I could possibly be. So why? Daddy told me that Mommy was sick. I mean, I had a cold the other week and I'm okay now. So why is Mommy crying so hard? can hear her all the way from the staircase down. Why does she have to go to the doctor so often when the rest of us rarely go? Why does her smile seem to be softly fading every single day? Why is it when I ask her if she's okay, she looks at me and simply turns away? Why is she suddenly wearing pink more and more, yet she wants to go out less and less? Why haven't we gone to church for the past 3 weeks or watch a family movie on a Friday night? Seeing my family the way it used to be was a much prettier sight. Why is my dad constantly holding my mom whenever she cries, yet why does he constantly look like he's holding back the tears in his eyes? Why is my older sister always telling me that things are going to be okay, yet she never wants to go outside anymore and play? Why do things have to be this way? Mommy shaved her head today. She put this thing on her head that made her look like a pirate. So I told her that. She laughed. And that made me smile. It felt good to smile as both her and I knew that it had been a while. She hasn't been sick. This is the 6th year. But still, I can feel that familiar fear creeping back up, waiting to strike her and my family again. All while I sit there like a dog restrained in a pen. I'm older now, and things have been explained. So that laugh that we both shared meant so much more. I'm glad it wasn't in vain. I'm older now, and I understand. But back then, I'm glad I didn't. She still gives me hugs and kisses, and will still yell at me if I forget to do the dishes. But she's here. She beat the greatest enemy of them all. I'm just glad I get to see her smile once more. Although she still carries all that pain, she's definitely shut the door.
Alright, this next poet talks about the journey through life's different loves. This is Lillian Caesar with Days of the Week.
It all started with Monday. Like always, Monday hits you like a stack of bricks. You probably dated them early on. At first, it was amazing. But the longer you were together, things had to turn for the worse. Huge was an understatement for their personality. Suddenly they tried to fix you, though there was no need fixing. They tried to start arguments, lashing out at every altercation, made you feel incredibly lousy for every little thing you'd done. They became too focused on the future, though thinking of the future was never the problem. They didn't realize that future they were so focused on was without you. You two grew apart, but it was only for the best. So you decided to try to mix it up a little. You met Wednesday. Wednesday gives you the urge to start anew, making you pretend to be something you're not. At first it was all fun and games, playing make-believe, a change in your routine. But then it was no longer as amazing as it seemed. Realizing you were now too far over your head, you never understood how you became this way. Though it is okay, because next came Thursday. Thursday got you back on track. Yet Thursday was prettier than all the rest, more fun and bubbly too. They rid your mind of all the damage that was done, but it felt like a filter. Things always done in a certain order. Yeah, you had things you loved about them, sure, but it felt like a repeated cycle. It always felt like you were destined for something better. It always felt like you had to try harder. Thursday thought you were their Saturday. They not understanding what all went wrong. Friday. Here comes Friday. Friday was a perfect day. Pretty much a dream. That feeling of excitement you had, you felt free with Friday. They made you experience things that you'd never experienced before. You learned something about Friday. But Friday likes to have fun. A little too much fun. Friday got a little crazy. You couldn't keep up with Friday. At the end of the night, you had someone else's vomit in your hair. Worst date ever. Though after you recover from Friday, though who says you really recovered from Friday, you meet Saturday. Aren't we all just racing through Monday to Friday to finally meet Saturday? Saturday was fun and exciting. They were different than all the others. You fell in love with Saturday, making promises and commitments. Saturday could have been forever. But sometimes, Saturday is a little disappointing. You have plans and hopes for Saturday. Maybe Saturday wasn't everything that you wanted it to be. Saturday broke your heart. And that happens, but I promise for every Saturday you face, there will be a Sunday. The one you meet when suddenly everything makes sense. Sunday. You can be yourself around Sunday, not worrying if they'll judge you because they'll love you. Sundays help you reflect and be thankful for the journey. Sunday makes you get up in the mornings. Sunday makes you so incredibly happy, enjoying the little things in life. The path to love is a journey. And sometimes it really sucks, but it helps you become the person you are. I think everyone could use a Sunday. I love Sundays. Oh, Tuesday. How did I forget about Tuesday? Well, Tuesdays weren't memorable anyways.
This next poem, inspired by Babadook on Netflix. Here is Leia, Andy, Lito, and Andre with
A Friday night alone in my room. Let's turn on Netflix.
Heathers.
Seen it.
Mean Girls.
Done that.
Orange is the New Black?
Girl. The Babadook.
The Babadook. The Babadook.
What kind of stupid? What kind of movie names their monster the Babadook?
Bless you.
I can sneeze.
I'll watch again and laugh.
The first part. Oh, Mom's sad.
The kid is trying to kill a monster. Oh, great. He's making weapons.
Watch your damn kid, Martha! Is her name Martha?
No, but I don't recall them saying names. Oh, this is cute. She's looking for monsters under the bed.
What the hell is wrong with this kid?
The second part. Nobody likes the mom.
Nobody likes the kid. Oh, the kid just fell off the top of the swings trying to find a monster.
Watch your damn kid, Martha! Aw, she's letting him choose a bedtime story.
Mr. Babadook. Oh, I don't remember having this creepy book.
Yeah, let's read it to our 7-year-old son.
Oh.
Oh, no. Oh, no, this is really creepy.
The Babadook sounds so stupid.
Quiet now.
The
The third part. Oh, thank God she threw out the book.
Thank God. Oh, wait.
Oh no.
The book's on her doorstep?
She burned the book. How is it on her doorstep?
Get out of the house!
Oh yeah, let's just go to the birthday party.
Oh, like Satan incarnate is following us or anything.
Little boy, just push the birthday girl out of the house.
Watch your damn kid, Martha! Yes, push her out that tree.
The fourth part.
Ring, ring.
Her phone rang. Hello?
No.
Hell no. I don't mess with that Babadook.
The Babadook's inside the mom!
Girl, no!
Oh my god, get away from the dog! She just killed the dog!
I'm turning it off. I draw the line at dogs!
She's gonna go after the sun!
Girl, no! Stay away from your damn kid, Martha! He just stabbed his own mommy.
LOL, casual family thing. Stabbing your own mom so the Babadook won't kill you? I'm never having children.
Oh, now she's tied up on the ground.
50 Shades of Babadook.
The Babadook is in the room.
Mama's yelling at the Babadook!
The Babadook would make me wet my pants.
The Babadook went away. Finally.
I was so stressed.
I'm terrified of the Babadook now.
What if my sister is the Babadook? What if my mom's the Babadook?
What if my wife's the Babadook?
You don't have a wife.
You don't know me.
What if I'm the Babadook?
Well, that could all be very possible. Because the Babadook is a metaphor.
For severe depression coming from extreme trauma.
Which is usually ignored or made fun of.
Babadook? That sounds stupid. Depression, not real, just be happy.
And that is the real horror of
The Babadook!
Well, now we know what not to watch on Netflix. Next we have a poet who is sharing her personal experience with depression and anxiety. Presenting Home, please welcome Nikki Torres.
It's been over 2 years since I last felt my own heartbeat. My chest has been empty since I was 15, and blood no longer flows through these veins. My mind is foggy, my vision is hazy, my body runs on autopilot only to survive and nothing more, but this numbness I know has become so familiar, I can actually say that I'm home. This internal death I once called a bad day is now ingrained into my bones, the structure of my body. It drags me down day in and day out, but this weight is a domestic comfort. It's the only home I know. I focused on this term so much that it no longer holds any meaning. My lips are dry as it slides past my teeth, and I am stuck belonging to a place that does not exist but resides in me. If my body is my home, my mind is a moldy roof caving in on itself, my skin the mildew-covered walls, my eyes are foggy windows that I can't see through, and my heart is a crumbling foundation with no chance of repair. I am made of rusted pipes and a broken hearth that has left me cold, and the floor is about to break down under me, and yet I cannot move. I am told that I am making my damaged house uglier with each carving on the wall. The roof is collapsing with every blow, but I cannot stop because this home does not feel like home, because this home should not feel like home. I'm barely fighting to survive in this space because mending my house is a futile endeavor. There are nights where I have to hide my pills, wrecking balls that demolish my dismal home. If my heart is barely beating, then why not finish the job? Home is supposedly the place where one lives permanently, but if permanence is home, my home is disappointment, my home is doubt, my home is self-loathing, my home is anger and envy and void of life. I can no longer believe that one day I will be happy in this house. My mind is damaged, my body is heavy, and there's no more pulse in my chest that I can find refuge in. If home is where the heart is, Why would I want to stay?
Okay, so now is the time. If you are one of Leonardo's students, come on up during. Okay, just take a selfie of yourself in front of the stage for credit from your seat. Okay, next we have a poet who has found clarity in the face of adversity. Here is Dalia Ornelas with Jungle Gym.
I lost a part of myself in war. The battle for GPAs. Half my face was taken from me, a hole in my identity covered with a porcelain mask. Take this number, they said so sweetly. It's valueless in life, besides a potential class rank title. And thus I was cast into a race against my peers, running around a jungle gym with a tippy-top castle that crowned the most royal, the most elite, the class rank king. It didn't matter if you were tired, you kept climbing. It didn't matter if you couldn't catch your breath, you kept climbing. Because in this game, slides led to your demise, while ladders led to a pretty disguise of you being wise. Because in this game, the only thing that did matter was catching that 4.5 GPA. It was more than your hands that got blisters. Your brain asks you to slow down and focus on one thing at a time. Your heart begs you to stop and smell the roses instead of textbook ink, but you weren't listening. Because all you could hear were your peers, too concerned with winning than their own well-being, coaxing your fingers to lose their grip, and once your hands slip, you know for a fact that even Humpty Dumpty has better chances than you. They say that if you're not in the race to see who's best, you will never get to be the best, because it didn't matter if you lost yourself, you kept climbing, until you reached a point where you were capable of thinking by yourself, but incapable of thinking for yourself. 2 years ago, I would have taken that number and worn it with pride. But if you try handing me a mask today, telling me that a number is more important than my development, than my identity, than my education, it is nothing but bold. They say that if you're not in the race to see who's best, you will never get to be the best. But I say that if you're not in the race to see who's best, you are giving yourself a chance to be your best. Because I am more than the classes I take. I am more than the numbers on a transcript. I am more than a sleep-deprived zombie with caffeine-injected veins. I am not a textbook's bitch. My mind is rich with ideas too great for this world, but no one ever gets to hear them. Because robotic lectures and robotic students teach me that anything beyond the world of numbers would get me farther than a jungle gym swing set, moving up and down but never forward. 4 years of high school education, and there's one thing they haven't managed to learn. It is not education if you're only going through the process. It is not education if you're only in it for a class rank title. It is not education if you're sacrificing your health for the sake of an inflated grade. It is not education if you let a GPA define your level of intelligence. It is not education if you're not learning. But it didn't matter if you weren't learning, you kept climbing. It didn't matter if you couldn't name as many peers as you could historical figures, you kept climbing. And if you hurt yourself on the jungle gym, it wasn't a mother's embrace that nurtures you, but the sweet caress of a 4.0. They choose their textbook friends over their human friends, and they haven't seen the pupils that belong to the person sitting right next to them. I'm tired of numbers defining me. I'm tired of textbooks siphoning me of all my passion, because instead of following my dreams, my heart is glued to the book, following the words across the page. It's a competition to see who gets the most amount of A's and the least amount of Z's. But if being good enough means I have to have bags under my eyes, I'd rather crack my skull 1,000 times. Because a trip to the hospital would be better than the price I have to pay just to be considered a worthy competitor. It doesn't matter whether I fell off the jungle gym or willingly stepped down. They kept climbing. They'll continue climbing, oblivious to the world surrounding their playground. But I'm tired of being oblivious. I'm tired of asking what happened to my grade when the real question is what happened to education. I do not believe in GPAs. I do not believe in GPAs because I believe that we're all better than average.
next poet has a bone to pick with the role she sees the institution of religion playing in the lives of those around her. Here is Madison McDonald with Preach.
You pray to someone who you cannot see. Now, I understand that this is your personal belief, but why try to seek his approval, especially of someone who could mold your life so cruel? I understand the need for explanation, but churches teach love, yeah, but they thrive off exploitation. You shouldn't need to give out thank you cards for every success, and you shouldn't need someone to put the blame on when you do something less. You search for something to cling to. Are his teachings really the only thing that reached you? But what if you had kept searching? Down a path to find yourself, keep learning. Do you really need a book to guide your moral compass? Are his teachings all you think you can encompass? Why try to prove yourself to him, all because your afterlife might be grim? You get down on your knees for him, you yell at the sky hoping he might listen, but when he doesn't answer your calls, you give him an excuse. Why would you put yourself through such blatant abuse? Why do these things? To show your worthiness to him, to show him that you are good? Let his light go dim and watch yours flourish. From personal knowledge and experience you will nourish. You don't have to look for God in the sky because God is inside you, no need to ratify. All knowledge you crave is in you. Look inside yourself, everything you want to know you already knew. Celebrate your own self and your inner beauty. You need not to hear it from him. Make it your duty. You bring people together, you teach love. You need not to accredit it to a being up above. Your questions don't need answers. Let living life be your enhancer. No need to have a guide. Be sure of yourself in every stride. You already know what is right and wrong. Trust your guts and know that you are strong. You are the only thing that you need. Rip out that planted seed.
Inspired by his experience with being transgender, here is James Stevenson.
Hi, I'm James. At least, that's what I want to say. But instead, my mouth forms different words. Ones that force their way between my teeth, much like the way I force myself out of bed in the morning. But since we're talking about mornings, let me tell you about mine. These summer dresses and cute flats never quite fit. Eating my breakfast when I wish I could be eating the pain, the dysphoria, the judgment I face every day, wishing they would disappear as quickly as my cereal does. Time for school. When I am addressed, it is always Callie, she, her, man. These words drip so easily from their tongues, yet cut me so deeply like the knives they really are. Hi, I'm James. So says the boy I long to introduce to the world, yet he sits alone in a box labeled do not open. He awaits the day for any Aladdin to rub his lamp and break his golden shackles. But while he's trying to climb out of the deep, dark hole I've shoved him into, I'm standing over him, shoveling in dirt, mixed with fear and guilt and anxiety, hoping that any ideas I have of bravery or freedom will die with him. I can see him choking on the dirt and slowly but surely suffocating. But my shovel shows no mercy. It can't. He becomes claustrophobic and feels constricted by the hole as though it is a ruthless anaconda, but I can't stop shoveling because even though when he hurts, I hurt. I like the hurt. I like the hurt because it means I feel something. I feel anything. I dream of the day. One day, when he will climb out of the hole, clinging to the rocks on the wall. He will rip off the duct tape society has told me belongs on his box. The snake will release him. The shackles will be no more. He has played hide and seek for far too long. Well, ready or not, here I come, and I will be the one to say, "Hi, I'm James."
Our next poet is here to share his moment of realization regarding his power over the words that have hurt him. This is Lito Loza with Sweet Tea.
Shut up. I am yelling! I woke you up, didn't you? I am yelling because I am mad. I just have no idea what I'm mad about. So I am mad because I don't like ice in my drinks. Because every time I go to Chick-fil-A or Taco Bell, they put ice in my damn drink. I'll pay the picture. I'll walk into McDonald's. Hi, can I get a sweet tea with no ice? There's ice. Chick-fil-A, can I get a sweet tea with no ice? There's ice. There's ice in this. Taco Bell, can I get a sweet tea with no ice? Okay, this is Pepsi and there's ice in this. Damn it, Kendall Jenner! I know! It's ridiculous to be angry about frozen water. But it's such a waste of money. I get a large sweet tea so I can get more tea. Not so so Catherine can put ice in it and after one sip I'm making sounds. But what makes me more angry is people think that my biggest problem is ice. People think I am a two-dimensional cartoon character asking Cosmo and Wanda to wish away ice. What makes me angry is people see my humor. They see my joy, they see my kindness, my ability to make people smile, and they think that's about as deep as I get. Oh, but I am deep. I am deeper than an extra large Fiesta mango tea at Taco Bell with no ice! Of course. People, and when I say people, I actually mean men. Men. See this joy, see me as myself, and think they can use me, corrupt me, hurt me. And they have. Men have stripped me of that joy and humor, stripped me away from who I am and threw me aside like a used condom, stripped me of all of that love and emotion. Men made me feel like I was nothing. Men made me feel like I was nothing but the word faggot. But that faggot has a name. But you can call me Sweet Tea. Men made me feel like they wanted me, for my sweet tea, but instead they filled me with ice and abused me. They made me feel like I was nothing but my body, my cup. They violated me without my consent and scarred me, forcing me to hate sweet tea, to hate me. And forgive me, I don't have a big ego. I see myself as no different than everyone else, but these men who use me and left like it never happens, act like they are above me, like the real me besides my body is trash, but bitch! Don't be so bold and brash. Let me sip on this sweet tea, no ice, of course, because I don't need your ice in my life. I don't need your cold embrace. I don't need you to make me feel small, because I am bigger and better than you will ever be. I am beautiful. I am powerful. I am the night. I am have ice in their drinks, because they will never get this sweet tea. And make sure there's no ice, Catherine, or this poem was for nothing.
Alrighty, in his desire to share his experience with and triumph over depression, this poet hopes to inspire and help others on their journey. This is Stephen Aguirre with My Piece of Art.
I sit in my room for hours, just me and this canvas, thinking of everyone that knows me and whether or not if any of them even really care. Because it seems like my existence has no importance. I was just there to fill in the space, a hopeless case, a charity case, a freaking basket case, knowing it was only a matter of time before I am erased. So I sit here, just me and this canvas. There's no ignoring, no evading this fatal black paint slowly eating away at the pain. I didn't even know it was possible to feel my heart decay. My life, this canvas, is a failed piece of art because of all this black paint I can't escape. Thick, dark, like the agony in my head. I wish I could get other colors like blue, red, or purple instead. But life? No. Life gave me black, because apparently that was all that was left. I want thinner brushes to make pretty looking lines, but all in stock for me was wide, for all the big fat lies about how everything was going to be fine. If you know me, then you would be surprised that one day I tried to commit suicide. You wouldn't think so because I always smile, laugh, and look like I was having a blast. But no one realizes it's all just a disguise. I always wear it to hide my demise. Because I'm a boy, so I'm trained not to show weakness. And we're taught that sadness is weakness. But this silence is driving me to madness. One day, I was told to kill myself. Well, guess what? That day, I tried. But not with bullets, knives, or rope to crack my spine. I got my bleach and poured my glass, downed the whole thing, and waited to crash. The fumes burned my eyes. I have never felt so agonized as it ate away at my lifeline. I choked, coughed, and pounded on my chest, wanting it to come out, but it kept searing on, burning as it went down my throat. Then my stomach expands like it's going to explode. I feel my blood change. It's like molten lead coursing through my veins. My bones started to crack and break. It was insane that this caused so much pain. I was crying as I was dying, trying to think of anything besides this goddamn pain. I'm on the floor, and I feel the horror as I see the faces of those who loved me before. My mother, my father, who wanted me to go farther. My grandma, my grandpa, who taught me to stand taller. My two older brothers, who would always protect me. My younger brother, who I was supposed to be directing. And all of my friends, who just want me to be happy. There was people I was leaving who loved me, who looked out for me when I was sick, watched over me since I was 6, wiped my ass for me all those years in vain. So I sit and wait in pain and regret, waiting for what comes next. What comes next? Do I tell everyone, or should I stay quiet instead? I guess it doesn't matter though, because I'm going to be dead. But somehow, I'm not dead. 2 hours later, I'm still taking breaths. I'm ashamed of what I tried to do. I feel like a fool. But I'm alive now. I'm alive. I know what I have to do. I'm going to open up and let others fix me with their tools. Then maybe life won't be so painful, even if there are a few rainbows. Maybe there's more to life than just pain or strife. Maybe I can have fun, and I won't need my disguise. It'll be good to finally get this pain out of my heart. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna get a new canvas, maybe some new colors and brushes. It's time for a new piece of art.
Up next, we have a poet who is going to share her realizations throughout her relationships. Here is Leah Barlage with About a Girl.
I never knew why he scared me with every touch, or why I was so uncomfortable in his presence. I don't understand why a hug or a kiss made me cry so much. I don't feel like myself when he is with me. I'm forcing myself to love and emotionally feel things I know I am never fully there for. So it's been about a boy, about a man, about a hard-working masculine presence to make my life wholesome. But why does my life feel so much less? This man does not make me feel like myself. You told me the way I'm feeling is normal, but it just feels like I'm being deprived of my true emotions. They don't exist. They don't matter to you. Then I see her. I watch her and I imagine what it would be like to hold her hand or hug her and talk to her and maybe even kiss her, and I feel something in my chest that I've never felt before. I feel warm. I feel human. I've never felt so true to myself and so infatuated with her. She is beautiful. She's kind. She's soft. She is the breath of air that I can take in and feel alive. It is everything about her that makes me realize who I am. I'm not scared. Or am I? The same time as yesterday, only today I see the difference between your actions and true feelings. Do you really feel the way you say you do? Am I the living thing you're partaking to cope with moving on? Do I really matter that much, or am I the shiny object you want to hold for a moment? But am I? Your actions seem convincing, but am I missing something deeper within your actions? When the sun is gone and so am I, will you go running to the moon? The moon is your only light source, but leaves you surrounded by darkness. Light always comes back, trusting that when the moon is out, you won't forget the light that's been given, trusting that you won't go back to the moon, hoping you endear the light as much as you say and as much as it endears you. Do you still long for that moon? Thanks.
Right, next we have a poet whose love and passion for drama has become her saving grace. Please welcome to the stage Mackenzie Spangler.
Drama. May I call you Theater? Okay, cool. Now, you may not know my name, but that doesn't matter because you are very important. And I've come here to say thank you. Thank you for teaching me to be myself. Be myself in a society that encourages conformity and blind obedience to authority. Because this cookie-cutter world that I call home never seemed to accept my design. I found myself walking endlessly down a road to nowhere. And as I began to leave my true self behind, I began to feel myself becoming more inclined to keep going. You showed me that I could be an heiress or a pencil. Number 2, in front of hundreds of people and not be deemed rather odd. For outside those doors, outside the reach of your love and acceptance, it is very different. Rather odd turns red and white and shows everyone where to hit me. Rather odd slowly morphs into chains around my ankles that keep me still in the line of fire. Drama, am I boring you? It's just, I remember it so vividly. That cookie-cutter world of mine. Before I decided to leave my true self behind. I can recall that now, if you like. In the form of a soliloquy, of course. Their arrows gleamed red as they flew through the air. I was hungry to express myself, be free, but the only thing I found myself in was the Hunger Games. I saw their arrows moving closer and closer to me, inching me closer and closer to my breaking point. My hands reached out, looking for a safe haven, something to get me out of this nightmare that I found myself in. As my environment around me grew hotter, the flames of their words making me more dehydrated by the second. I reached my hands out slowly, shaking more and more. And you grabbed them. So thank you. You were there for me when no one else was. And if any of you are wondering how you should be acting to fit in, be dramatic.
Alrighty, our last poet of the night expresses his struggle with remaining vulnerable in relationships. Here is Alex Uranza with Intention.
I'm losing the grip. My hands shaking, my body aching. I look over to see your tired eyes, tense body, and every tear that runs from your face to your feet. I can feel the warm outline of its slick metal body forged from the cast of emotions we shared. I've studied every crease, every crevice, every part which is designed to work in cohesion, to drop its victim with ease. What more could you want? You're saying, please don't do this. I've already got you down on your knees. I feel the ever-growing twitch in my finger as it's pressed against the trigger they nicknamed Intent. I stare into your pretty green eyes as they form the iron sights that make sure that every bullet hurts, that every word spoken is another hole in my shirt. I've loaded this weapon with bullets manufactured by my own tongue, where each awaits its turn to be fired from the barrel they call my mouth. Your worried face almost brings me to tears, for we both know how this is going to end. One of us will cry and beg for help, while the other sits motionless, staring at themselves. You know what you're doing is not right. You know that I won't resist going into the light. I take a deep breath and squeeze with all my might. Click! Oh. Silly me. The safety was on. Well, maybe that was a sign that what we shared is not gone, that maybe there's a chance and that we're both wrong. There's no more time. They told me that chivalry is dead. But this one's about us. Who cares what they said? Or, you know what? Maybe that was just luck. The safety's now off. I reminisce to the days where we talked for hours, how on your birthday I surprised you at home with cake and flowers. We learned so much from each other. We both had so much to give. Like during school hours, when we would text for hours and not pay attention. When the teacher would notice and give one of us detention. Oh man. But the most important thing you taught me as my true best friend, how to kill someone. Kiss them once and never again. I look back at you and a lone shot rings out. I leave my victim no time to react, for that single bullet strikes them down with every empty promise, every text, every false I love you that leaped from their lips. You look at me and saw. You expected a wound to make an appearance on your body, But no. Don't you remember? I promised that I would never hurt you. I promised that I'd always be there for you, even if I was the one falling apart. My intentions were never to hurt you, but to show you that true love was never hard to find. So I wrote your name on the only bullet that I loaded, so everyone knows that you were the last thing that went through my mind.
Alrighty, and that performance concludes our show this evening. Can I get all the poets on stage for one more big round of applause, please? Hayden Chapman, Andy Juarez, Mackenzie Spangler, Brianna Orr, Andre Day, Lily Caesar, Nikki Torres, Dahlia Arnellis, Madison McDonald,